Hey guys, so this is going to be a hopefully short and sweet video. This next coming week, I am taking off, so there won't be a reaction on the channel next Friday. But I thought I'd make a quick video just because there's a very weird thing going on in the YouTube reaction space at the minute. And you guys know me, like I love to keep you guys in the loop with what's going on and like what happens with videos and a bit more behind the scenes stuff. I'm kind of open and transparent about a lot of it, or at least I try to be. Let me preface this by saying this is not a depressing video. This is not me complaining too much, but there's something going on that's just not ideal, and it's also different to what the reaction space has been for a long time. So it's just kind of something that I'm having to manage and figure out as I go. So I thought rather than me just doing that and then you guys maybe noticing differences and not understanding why certain things are having to happen, I'd rather just tell you all in a video so we're all on the same page. So basically, you might have seen I've made a few posts on like Instagram and the community tab and stuff, but YouTube's making it increasingly more difficult for reactors to do reactions and also like do them in like a successful way. So what's kind of spurred this on is recently, obviously, I posted my Friday upload last Friday, me reacting with my mum and dad to the Addams Family for the first time, whatever. And obviously, like, I go in with the editing, whatnot. You guys know if you've watched videos, I go hell for leather in the editing department. One, because I love it, and two, because copyright requires such. Okay, for example, one of my most popular series is on this channel, which is the Dance Mum series. Those videos have to be even more edited than most stuff that I've done, to the point where I'll only be able to leave in about 3 seconds of footage before needing to blur, put my commentary in, whatever. Like, I cannot leave in more than 3 seconds. So you'll notice that those videos are even choppier than my original stuff. However, a lot of the other content that I put up, like movies, other TV shows, whatever, they always kind of followed a similar formula where I can keep in about 5 seconds of content and then swap, change, whatever. And I know 2 seconds doesn't sound like much, but trust me, in the grand scheme, it really does help it feel a little bit less choppy. However, what's been happening as of late is that is no longer a possibility with anything. So in the past month, 2 months, around 70% of my videos that I've uploaded have either been fully copyrighted, sometimes blocked. Like my K-pop Demon Hunters, that was blocked several times. The one with my parents, blocked several times. And otherwise, certain stuff can be partially blocked. So like it's still kind of widely being able to be seen, but it's blocked in like a few places, which is still fine. But I've found that even more recently, like my Addams Family video with my parents, that was blocked in so many countries to the point where a large majority of my audience and like subscribers, like you guys, wouldn't have been able to see it, which I'm sure you noticed. And the way these things are happening is when I upload them, because I edit them so intensely, they go through the YouTube checks 99.9 times out of 100, they're fine. They pass, whatever, like YouTube checks them over, it's all good. And then what happens is, which I don't think a lot of people actually know about, is companies and production companies and whatever else, at this point, who knows who, are able to come in and manually claim anything. So that's what's been happening more recently. So when I had my Addams Family video taken down, that was blocked in so many countries to the point where the video was pointless. Like I'd spent days editing it. It was pointless. It wasn't going to get any views, whatever. That was claimed by a company I'd never seen before. Now I've done some research and obviously it's all speculation, it's all alleged, but the company that I'd seen that had been claiming stuff more recently, there's questions around the legitimacy of that agency and whether they actually are a legitimate company that has actually the copyright and the right to be taking down videos. Because what happened was, I had my Addams Family video taken down, then that same evening, I had 2 more videos from years ago get taken down that were completely unrelated, like had no relation. So I decided the following day to try and put it up again. However, I wanted to try and make a change that a lot of people had commented and mentioned to me and messaged me, and that was to flip the movie entirely. So if you were able to watch it, you'd notice that that was flipped, like the whole movie was flipped, and that was meant to help. Didn't help. Within 40 minutes, that video was claimed again, blocked in all those countries, whatever. Then following that, a few minutes later, 3 more videos from years ago, all copyright claimed or blocked. So it just feels a little bit sus. So this video is kind of just to like let you guys in on that this isn't just happening to me. This is like a wide thing that is happening in the reaction space. Like I've heard from several of my reaction friends, online friends, whatever, that we're all having this happen. And I don't know if it's like a rise in AI and maybe companies are using that, because don't get me wrong, copyright itself doesn't bug me that much because I understand I don't have ownership over the content that I use. But there is such thing as fair use, which is what reaction content, commentaries, whatever else, that is fair use. It should come under the fair use category. So what happens is we get a copyright claim, and then you have the option to either trim out the segment that's claimed or dispute the decision. So let's cover trimming out the segment, right? So YouTube loves to say that they have this trim out segment that means that you can just take out the bit that's claimed, then the rest can stay. That doesn't work. So what actually happens is when you get a claim, for the most part, especially in like movies and stuff, I can only speak for myself, in like a movie reaction, they'll claim some of it, and then when you go to do the trim out segment, it then highlights every part of that video that shows any part of the movie. So if then the creator, myself, were then to trim out the segment, I'd have no video. So that's not an option. So then instead, they say, well, you can dispute it. Now, what happens here, which is the thing that actually I think bugs me the most, and it makes little to no sense in my opinion, obviously you guys can let me know your thoughts, is when you dispute a claim, the claim and the dispute goes straight back to the people that manually claimed it. The reason why I'm saying that doesn't make any sense to me is what makes the most sense is the claimant claims the video. I dispute the claim. What makes the most sense to me is for that issue then to go to a third party, whether that's YouTube or something else, for that person to decide unbiasedly whether my video falls under fair use or whether their claim is in fact valid, whatever that may be. Instead, it goes back to the claimant that already claimed the video and went out of their way to manually claim it, which means they already thought it needed to be claimed. So obviously, in my experience, obviously some reactors might say different, in my experience, 99% of the time, it comes back, they think their claim is still valid, and once again, I'm stuck with a dead video. Because what also happens in my experience is once a video is copyright claimed or demonetized or whatever you want to call it, YouTube stops pushing it out to new viewers. So of course, like, you guys will still be able to see it, which is great. Thank you. But that means that there's no chance for that video to ever go past my realm, if that makes sense. So with that kind of increasing at the minute over the past like 2 months, month, whatever, it's become a little bit discouraging. Not to the point of me obviously giving anything up, whatever, but it's kind of making me rethink the way I work, and I just want to make sure you guys are kept in the loop, because I do think moving forward, I'm going to be experimenting with either how I edit or maybe the way I do commentaries or reactions, or whether that has to lean a bit more into commentary rather than reactions for a while. Because hopefully this is just like a phase. I'm hoping that this isn't something that continues, because ultimately it does become difficult for someone to want to put in all the effort that some of us do. Now, don't get me wrong, some content creators I know like don't go as far into the editing side of things, and in that sort of sense, I'm like, you know what, fair enough, like copyright makes sense, and it's not the money that I have an issue with. I want to make that very, very clear. So copyright itself, I'm not too fussed about. The only issue I really have is when they go as far as to block them, and I think that's what's been increasing, because as soon as they block it, like it kills the video. Like even my subscribers from certain places won't be able to see it. That's what's troubling me right now, is that I feel like if this keeps happening, how are my videos ever getting seen? So in terms of copyright, I'm not that's not really the thing that I have a problem with, because it is understandable to a certain extent. Now, I do believe that a lot of my content should be under the fair use category, because the whole point of the fair use label is that you're transforming the content enough that it has something else beneficial to it that is beyond the original content. So for mine, I do try and make sure my videos are entertaining and informative, or edited well enough to the point where you see some best bits of the original content that I'm using, but ultimately, and I've been told this a lot, it actually makes you want to go and watch the original content after the fact or whatever. So that's why I'm having a bit of trouble, because for the most part, I've been very lucky in the fact that up to now, yes, some things will get copyright claimed, whatever, like that's going to happen. But ultimately, like, I'd found a formula that worked, and I felt like I was teetering the line well with being obviously respectful of copyright infringement and whatnot, and trying to transform stuff to the point of it being original to me, and like I'm providing value to the video past it just being the content that I'm reacting to. But that is the thing that seems to be shifting right now, is that regardless of that fact, there's an influx of copyright claims, blockages, and it's the pattern of which it's happening is what's odd. So I'm making this video specifically to tell you guys that nothing really is going to change as of yet, but I am going to be experimenting with maybe the editing style, and if that means that even less of the original content has to be shown, whatever, I might have to look into those sorts of things. So through my next uploads, I'm going to see what works. I'm going to trial out a few new things, and obviously I can keep you guys in the loop with that. But I didn't want to make these changes without you guys really understanding why it's happening. And ultimately, yeah, I have a Patreon. I'm not worried about that. So if you do want to support me or other creators, that is the best way. At this point, that is the best way, because for the most part, reactors, and whether that's music, movies, TV, whatever form that is, most likely people aren't going to be making money or getting their videos out there as much as they used to in this weird phase. So Patreon's a great tool. Obviously, I know it's not possible for everybody, but if you do want to support content creators, that's probably the best way at this point, because a lot of people have Patreons, and there's a reason why more people, I think, are heading towards Patreon and whatnot, because YouTube is becoming a bit of a troubling space for reactors. You know, now I'm going to continue making videos. That's not going to change. I've got so many things that I'm excited to post, but I just wanted to let you guys in on what's been going on, because it's weird. Quite simply put, it's weird, and I just feel like something needs to change. And I think, quite simply, even just changing who the dispute and the claim and that whole scenario, who that goes to for the final say, I think even just changing that would create much more of a fair dynamic. Because something I didn't mention is, once they reject your dispute, you then have the option to appeal. Now, no one ever wants to appeal that, because the ramifications of that is copyright strikes, and you're only allowed 3 strikes in a certain amount of time. I think it's a couple of months before your channel's suspended, and obviously no one wants that. So that's not even an option. They give it as an option, but it can have serious ramifications. So I think, yeah, this video is probably not going to help anything. It's more for me and you guys just to be on the same page. So hopefully you understand why I wanted to make this video. Hopefully it was a quick one, and I'll see you not this Friday coming, the next Friday, for more videos. And yeah, if the editing's a little bit different or certain things start changing, you know why. Okay? And if you see anybody in the comments complaining about these sort of things, and if you know and have watched this, kind of like give them a little nudge and say, like, maybe watch this video, or he's having issues with this, like, that'd really help me out, because obviously I can't respond to absolutely everybody. But yeah, I'd appreciate that a lot. But otherwise, obviously I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for people that are already over on Patreon. That really helps. And if I didn't have Patreon, I'd be much more worried right now. So thank you so much. But yeah, so that's that. Hopefully you're having a good day, and I'll see you soon with something else. Love yous. Bye.